These things are old age disease. These things happen in your 80s and 90s. If you're walking around with a lot of body fat, which is inflammatory, and you're not exercising enough and you're not eating the right foods, you're 40% more likely to die prematurely from heart disease, from cancer, from stroke, from diabetes, and other breathing problems, respiratory problems, and not to mention this COVID, the variants. Variant 1, I don't know, A, B, alpha, beta, Phi, Kappa, who knows? Oh, the Xing was one of them, Xi was one of them, but he wouldn't let that happen. They jumped that number because they didn't want Xi Jinping to get mad, by the way. One of the variants early in it was set up to be, XI, Xi, and they jumped that for some reason. They went past that because they didn't want to offend Xi Jinping. And name the variant after him. So, but COVID is what's really taking us out right now. It's amazing how many people are running this thing called long haul COVID and still having COVID symptoms, even though they've been triple vaccinated, they've been boosted, and it's not going away. And, I have my own opinions on that, but I can tell you, if you're carrying around body fat, I just watched a show on NBC, CNBC, whatever it was, about a guy who was in Arizona who had been triple vaccinated, had all of his vaccinations and boosters. He got COVID, and then the COVID was gone, and then he ended up with what they call long COVID, and basically he's obese. Now he's not. See him, he doesn't look that obese. He doesn't look like he's big as a house, but I know his body fat's over 35%. And he's been in and out with pneumonia and in and out of the hospital with what they call long COVID, and nobody is pointing out the fact that the guy's morbidly obese. I mean, they're not even talking about it. They're just saying he's got the bad luck of the long haul COVID. So I'm not trying to beat you up, you guys, if you're overweight and you got some extra body fat. But what I'm telling you is that if you are overweight and you're over 50, you need to exercise every day, more so than someone who's not. And if you're exercising daily and you're eating good, wholesome, nutritious food and staying away from processed food, and you're overweight, it's not a big deal. You're actually probably... It's a normal thing for you. But here's the problem. The overweight person is typically not eating properly. They're not exercising as much as they could or should. And this is what leads to the death and the early dismemberment and all the disease processes that come from carrying too much body fat. I was one of them. I mean, I know this from my experience. When I had that body fat at 34% and I was 52 years old and I got on my laser, I was not exercising enough and I was eating, I had a terrible diet. And I was 40 pounds overweight, and who ended up with type 2 diabetes? Me. It happened very quickly. And it was a wake-up call for me. Thank God I had the laser to use. And I used it. And I got rid of the body fat really fast on the outside, mind-blowing. And it was motivated me to continue to eat better for the next 3 months. And I dropped to 38 pounds. And here I am today with a 34 waist. And my body fat is, I'm about 215 pounds right now. My body fat's about 28%. So it's still a little high. I'd like it to be a little lower. And I can, but, it's better than 34%. And my blood sugar is manageable. I still do take the metformin because sometimes I like to eat some carbohydrates. And that's just the truth. So, if you're interested in finding out more about my body sculpting procedure, my body contouring, we have an offer, a $49 Discovery Day offer. It's on Facebook right now. It's on all of our ads. And it really is, what it really is, a visit is $300 a session. Our program is 9 sessions in 3 weeks. So with the tax and everything, it's about $2,800 for my entire program. And there are no upsells. It includes everything you're going to need, the laser, the whole body vibration. It includes a nutritional evaluation with me. We sit down and calculate your body fat percentage so you know how much of your body is fat. It's important to know that. And then also what they call your resting caloric intake, how many calories you burn at rest. If you want to be successful in weight loss, you must know your BMR. If you do not know your resting caloric intake, you can't be successful at weight loss. Your BMR, your metabolism, is a product of your habits, your age, your weight, your gender, and how much body fat you have. This is what your metabolism is. You cannot overeat your metabolism and expect to stay thin. It's like a credit score. You can't buy a building or a house bigger than your credit score, can you? It's going to stop you right there. Well, my BMR, when I did this for myself, and I use a machine in my office, it's different than the one you stand on at the gym or the one you do with a calculation, because it's literally passing an electrical current from your foot out to your hand. And as that current moves through your body, you don't feel the current, but it measures how fast electricity passes. So water, muscle, fat, and bone conduct electricity at different speeds. So depending on your makeup of how much fat you have and how much muscle tone you have, it's going to come up with your what they call your basal metabolic rate, your BMR. Pay attention to this, because if you know your BMR and you eat food and stay at the BMR or under the BMR, you're going to lose weight. But you also have to realize that the choices of food you eat have to be real food, quality calories. As Joe Rogan put it, meat and vegetables. I love it. He sums it up. No, man, it's called meat and vegetables. What about this? No, it's meat and vegetables. Yeah, so basically I can go to I can only buy food from the produce area of Publix or the meat counter, right? Yeah, that's right, meat and vegetables. Not pasta, not rice, it's not a vegetable, it's a starch. And if you stick to that, meat and vegetables, you're not going to get fat. You can't get fat. In fact, you make muscle, you feel energy, your complexion clears up, your bowel gets better. It's really quite amazing how we have vegetables. And I did an intake on a client this last week. There was 3 people in the group, and it's a mom and her children, and they're all have committed to the plan, and I'm so grateful for that, because it's going to change their lives. And we went over the food habits. There was really no vegetables in their diet. The mom is in her 50s and the kids are in their 20s, and no vegetables. And there was one vegetable they liked, and I was very pleased of that. It was broccoli. But no carrots, no peas, no lettuce, no salads, no sprouts, no avocado, none of the good stuff. And it's going to be a bit of a challenge, because it's obvious. And when I did their body fat for the team, 2 of them were almost over 45%